to another edition of the Territory Talk podcast, the official podcast of the Florida Panthers, presented as always by our friends at Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Doug Plagans, Jameson Olive here with you as always, joined today by special guest Panthers defenseman Jeff Petry. Just played your 1,000th game in the National Hockey League, so a huge congratulations to you again. What's the week been like, and what was that day like going through game number 1,000?
Well, thank you. It's it was a special day. I think, leading up to it, you're getting close, and to finally to play that game, I think it was a little bit of relief. But I think the organization did a great job of incorporating and including with the family and everything like that. So it was a special moment having the boys come in and read the opening lineup and to see their signs during warm-ups. It was a special day.
And I want to start with the boys first. Obviously, you got a whole army. You got 4 boys at home. What was it like having them do the lineup read? And obviously, they did a great job. Guys got a win after that, got the boys fired up. And I think tradition, the winning lineup read, you keep going every game. So the boys doing the next one too.
And you know what? That's what they guys were joking with them after the game of, you got to come back on Thursday. So I think it might just get handed off to me to read that one. But it was special, and the guys. It just made them feel welcome, calling them around to give high fives before they left the room. So our 8-year-old kind of took the lead, which doesn't surprise me. And then the last drop from the 10-year-old as he was running out was that one shocked me a little bit, just by his he's pretty quiet and reserved, so it was that was pretty cool.
And we want to talk more about the family a little bit, but staying with 1,000 games first. Obviously, number 1 is so big, and we'll get to that in a second. But as you go throughout, your career, we talk to guys all the time. When you get to like 300, 400, we interview and you say, "Oh, congrats on 300 tonight," and they're always like, "Oh, didn't know that was tonight." At what point do you kind of start counting and kind of looking ahead when you're getting close to 1,000, knowing that that's on the horizon?
I think throughout the course of your career, it's you play your 100th game and guys are coming up and, like you said, congratulations and things like that. And then as they start piling up, you get close, and I think it's when you have that contract that you could get it if you played that, like, you need 60 games, you have 82, like, stay healthy here. And so last year it was had an injury, so it was unfortunate that I missed that time and realized that wasn't going to happen. And then signing here in Florida, had 19 to go, so it was like that window was pretty small. And then as games go by, it's like, okay, you're 2 away, 3 away, like whatever it is. And to finally, like I said, to play it and kind of is a relief and an exciting time.
What do you remember about game number 1, breaking in as an Oiler years ago? What was that experience like, and what were some of the early lessons that you felt like maybe you learned that you've kept with you all these years?
Yeah, it was people asked, did you ever imagine playing 1,000 games? And I said no. Like, your goal was always to get to 1, get called up. For me, it was to get called up. I was down in the American League to start the year, and to play that first game, that's, you're nervous, you're excited, you have every emotion, and then it's okay. Now let's get to 2. Let's continue, and then how can you get there, and how can you stick? Not not have that fear of not making a mistake, but that fear of, okay, you're going back down. So I think there's different milestones throughout, things you're looking forward to throughout the course of your career. And early on in Montreal or in Edmonton was to make the team and kind of to stick.
What's it been like, I should say, because your kids got to be involved in game number 1,000, but they're old enough to understand kind of what's going on day to day, to be able to share not just that experience, but kind of share day to day in the National Hockey League with you.
Yeah,
guys.
I mean that's something that I think is really special. That the kids are, our oldest is 10 and has memories of. He'll bring up things that happened in Montreal, so I know he has memories. Our 8-year-old has memories, something that I don't have from my dad's career. I think he retired when I was 3, so that was. I remember being at the ballpark, but I don't remember him physically pitching. So that having these memories of that we can share together and that they'll remember is special.
And turning the clock all the way back now, you just brought it up, but your dad, Dan Petry, of course, World Series champion with the Detroit Tigers, had a long career in the MLB. I think you retired when you were 3 or 4, so like you said, wouldn't remember much. But what was it like just growing up in like a pro sports household, even after he was retired? Just kind of, knowing your dad was a big deal back then, just like you are now for your kids.
Yeah, and it never really clicked until maybe 6 or so. Like we would go down to opening day, we'd go into the clubhouse and kind of see some teammates of his that were still playing. So that was cool. But then walking through Tiger Stadium and him getting stopped, it's like, oh wait, this is something. And then you ask more questions, you see videos, and that's when you kind of realize how special it was for him to play and then to obviously win the World Series. And then that's when I guess the memories that I have kind of were through stories or videos and things like that.
Where was the trophy in the house as a kid, the World Series trophy? Did you look at it a lot?
It was always in the office. So it was, he had his 2 jerseys hung up, and the trophy was in a little case in the corner.
So I'm not going to lie, I had a chance to bump into your dad when we were in Detroit early in the season, and he was 84 World Series champion. Huge thrill for me to get to stop over and introduce myself and say hello. But when you were growing up, hockey, baseball, first of all, when did you, obviously you probably got into hockey really young, like a lot of kids in Michigan do, but when did you kind of realize that, you were excelling at hockey? Was baseball also a part of your life throughout? And when did you make the ultimate decision to go to hockey?
Yeah, I mean, both my parents grew up in Anaheim, so they are just outside Anaheim, so they knew nothing about hockey. But my dad retired in Detroit, put me into hockey because it was opposite season as baseball, and I loved it. My brother and I both played. He went the baseball route. I think it was 17 maybe when I had to have that difficult conversation with them. I called my high school hockey coach. I said, there's too many conflicts. I'm going to have to sit out baseball games because I really want to go to this hockey camp. How do I tell him? And he's like, you just call him, be honest, talk to him. So I was driving home, and my coach gave him a warning. And when I got home, I told him, I was like, baseball's like it's becoming too much. I wanna focus on hockey. And he's like, whatever you want to do. Like, conversation was way easier than I thought it was going to be.
I went back and looked at some interviews. First baseman, right? You were. So were you like a big power bat? Like, give us the rundown. Give us the rundown of the MLB, the baseball day.
No. I enjoyed playing first base because you were in on a lot of the action. Bat was not there, so the career there was.
It wasn't too hard a choice at a certain point.
No, and it was. I had fun playing baseball, but I liked the pace of hockey, the physicality, and that kind of thing. And so, could I have gone to the next level past high school and baseball, maybe college? But hockey, just I enjoyed it more. Like I said, I liked the pace of it. And it was an easy decision for me, a decision I thought about prior to telling him for probably a couple of years, but obviously it was a decision that he didn't try to fight me on.
Mm-hmm.
He saw it coming prior to our conversation, and he's actually, he's glad, and he's been a huge hockey fan for a long time now.
And you're still in a two-sport household, though, because I remember when you signed here, you said your oldest son, Boyd, correct, was so excited because he gets to play baseball year-round now. So obviously Grandpa's a former MLB star. His dad's a hockey star. What is it like with your boys now in terms of baseball, hockey? What's it like at home?
Yeah, I mean, our oldest he's a stats guy, so like he can rattle off any baseball stat, hockey stat too, but he's really into baseball. Both of them are playing hockey right now. We're gonna look into the baseball, but we didn't want to fill our schedules too much, not to be able to enjoy other things. So so they're both, the older two for sure are both into that hockey baseball combo. Our 6-year-old he wasn't really into baseball last summer. He was that kid that was in the field, digging in the dirt, picking flowers. So we'll see if another year, we'll see how it is. But he actually just switched to goalie 2 weeks ago. So completely new to me. So I know nothing. But he's really into it and having fun with it. And it's the most engaged I've seen him on the ice. So if that's what he wants to do and if that's what he loves, like, by all means.
What's it been like for you coming down here to Florida, where you can wear a t-shirt and shorts to practice here in the fall and into the winter? You've played in some cold weather locations in your career. What's it like to be able to see some sunshine in the winter, and like I said, here in the fall, and be able to wear your flip-flops to the rink, wear your shorts to the rink?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different than, like you said, all of the other places I've played. It's it's nice to be able to wake up and see the sun, and like you said, wear pretty much whatever you want to the rink. And I think it makes life outside the rink a lot, not that other places weren't enjoyable, but enjoyable in different ways. I think, you're able to be outside and, get that sunshine, get that fresh air, whereas other places you're doing more things inside. So, that's one thing. It's been really nice walking the kids to school, going to the park after school, letting them run around. It's been really nice.
Well, like we were saying before, you talk about this being your current stop. You've had so many impressive stops throughout your career. It's like storied franchises: Edmonton, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Panthers now here. How big is like your collection of stuff at home after 1,000 games? Obviously, I'm sure you got a lot of jerseys, but what do you just have at home? What's like the collection look like right now from your career?
A lot of jerseys. I have a few sticks from teammates from over the years. Just first goal pucks with different teams, first points with different teams. Been able to play in a few outdoor games or be a part of quite a few outdoor games. So you have different jerseys for different different events. So it's starting to pile up.
Do you ever think you play an outdoor game in Miami? We got that coming up here pretty soon. Jerseys were launched today. I mean, I'm sure when you were looking at teams to sign for, like you said, you look at where you're going to spend your 1,000th game. But do you look at like, the Panthers also have a outdoor game this year that could be fun? Do you kind of look at that stuff, and how excited are you to play outdoor in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, it's to be honest with you, I didn't even think about that side of things, but they are fun. It's a unique event that happens, and I've played in 2, was a part of 4, injured for 2. I think it's just nice what the league and the teams do with the family skate and things like that, and it's definitely not your typical outdoor venue or climate, but we've seen them in LA, and I think they're a hit, and the fans and players enjoy them.
And here we are, getting close to a quarter of the way through this season, which is hard to believe. Schedule's just flying by, but we've always heard anybody who's come into this Panthers group, it's been a really welcoming group, a group that makes it easy to transition, a group of guys that genuinely enjoy being around each other on and off the ice. What have your impressions been here through about a quarter of a season?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you hear a lot of teams say it, you hear about it, especially with the Panthers, and but I think coming in here, like you said, what you hear is true and is I guess legitimate. It's been an easy group to to mesh with, and very very welcoming group to me and my family, and I think that speaks to the players and the staff in the room, and I think it definitely helps with the success that they've had, over the past few years. So, everything that I heard going into it was true.
Obviously, so many good defensemen here in this D-corps. But one guy I want to ask about is Gustav Forsling. Obviously, I don't think he's underrated anymore. He's on a lot of lists now, but it still feels like people don't fully appreciate outside of South Florida just how good he is. As a guy that's played with so many defensemen, been around so many defensemen, what's it like just being a part of the same D-corps and watching him every day? What makes him maybe different and special?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't think you said underrated. I don't think he gets the credit of actually how good he is. He skates so well. But the thing that impresses me the most is how good of a stick he has, defending the rush, defending plays out of the corner. So it's definitely something that is fun to watch, and it's something you can learn from. Even 1,000 games in, you're still learning, and you're still trying to improve your game and different things like that. So that's definitely a guy that has been fun to watch. And
you've played with Uvis Balinskis, Donovan Sabrango so far, two younger guys. Obviously, you're that kind of veteran mentor now. Guys get put with you in a D pair, and we always ask the guys, what's it like to learn, from Jeff Petry? What can you pick up? Just what is it like being a mentor now at this stage of your career whenever you do get one of those younger D partners?
Yeah, I mean, I look back at, guys that I played with when I was coming to the league or when I was a younger guy, and I think the one thing that made things easy for me was communicating. Communicating on the ice is important to get the pucks out of your zone and make your partner's life or your plays easier. But I think communicating off the ice, I think, for me, I was always a quiet one, and I had a teammate, Ladislav Smead, that I played with in Edmonton, and he was like, he wanted me to talk to him, not just him talking to me. He wanted me to give my thoughts too, and I never want to have somebody have a fear of talking to you, or, hey, look, I make mistakes, believe me, I know, and if there's something that I can do that can help him, great. Let's work on this together. And I think that's important, is to have that open line of communication.
You mentioned Ladislav Smith. That was going to be my next question. Was there a veteran guy or two or three early in your career, maybe a captain, somebody somewhere who did make a particular impression on you? And you mentioned him, but are there any other guys that come to mind from early on?
Yeah, I mean, he was, I think, I played with Ryan Whitney my first game, Jim Vandermeer. Those guys just, like I said, made you, your first couple games, made that transition as smooth as they could. And Smead was I said that name because he was my first like partner for an extended period. So there, and then I think there's been a handful throughout the course of my career that I could say, different partners I had in Montreal, and that have helped with my success.
Last one for me. You've been in a lot of locker rooms in your career. You've had a lot of teammates. But like you said, your boys are a little bit older now. Not counting yourself, who is the boys' favorite player right now in that locker room? Because I'm sure they got one.
Ooh, they're probably all different.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the new goalie is obviously
Bob's the man.
Bob's the man. I'd say the older two, Barkey.
Really? Yeah.
Or
he's injured right now. He's available.
I know,
They can go up and talk to him whenever.
but they watch, and Chucky. Both of them are injured, so it's I remember the first game that they came down to the locker room after I was doing something, and Chucky brought him in, and he's great with the kids, and I remember last year actually I was in Detroit. We were out actually just stop and say hi to Miles, and Chucky was out, but he was on the road trip, and he came by, and never met my kids. Stop, talk to him for 5-10 minutes. So it just speaks to the person he is. So I think that went a long way for them, and they remembered that, and I think that carried into this year.
Well, we thank you very much for stopping by here on Territory Talk and taking some time out for us. And again, folks, Territory Talk is always presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Doug Plagans, Jameson Oliver, our special guest, Jeff Petry. Thank you again for being here today. We'll talk to you next time.